Okay guys, we're going to make a video about some of the features that you need to work into your engraving bench to help you work more efficiently. And a lot of times, guys that have been engraving for a while forget some of the simplest things that would help beginners set up their bench. So we're going to show you how to center your scope over your turntable and all sorts of things, how to focus your scope and things like that. So let's jump right in. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is, without regard to anything else on the bench, you want to get your scope to a comfortable height to where that you could stand to sit there for several hours at a time. You kind of want your back straight. You don't want to be hunched over, and you don't want to really be reaching up. You just want to get it comfortable to about eye level. And then the next thing that you're going to want to take into consideration once you've got this set, and most of them adjust back here somewhere, hopefully you won't have this conglomeration of wires that we have because of all the cameras. So get this set up and down until it's comfortable to your eyes and the chair that you're going to be engraving in. The next thing that you're going to want to consider is that microscopes need a particular distance between the bottom of the microscope and the top of a ball vise. This particular scope needs 8 inches. I think the Meiji needs 6. The Leica is adjustable based on the Barlow lens you put on it. So because of that, you're going to want a bench or some way to move your vise up and down. Okay? But we'll get back to that in just a minute. So the most important thing is to have your microscope centered over your turntable. This turntable right here is a GRS turntable, and they come with a positioning pin that helps you line up the center, like so. Now, what I'm looking for when I'm looking through the scope is there's a divot in the top of this pin, and I want that to be in the center of my view. And once I feel comfortable that that's in the center and I can turn the turntable without it moving all over the place, then I know that I have my microscope over the middle of the table. If you don't have the GRS style turntable and you went with the Shimpo banding wheel, which is a more economical option that will certainly do a good job for you, it doesn't come with the centering pin in the middle. But what it does come with is all of these rings that make things a lot easier to deal with. So if you need some help finding center, you can just make an X in that center ring. And while it's not going to be clear in your microscope, you would at least then have something that you could get somewhat centered. Now, it's not going to be in focus for you because of your focal distance is going to be all jacked up without a turntable on it. But that will give you something to look at through your scope so that you can turn it and find center. Now that we've got our microscope centered over our turntable, then what we're going to do now is we're going to calibrate or focus this microscope throughout its entire zoom range so that you can work much faster. The first step to doing that is you're going to want to screw your eyepieces all the way in, and you're going to want to zoom in as close as the microscope will get. That would be your highest magnification. And then using the focus block, you're going to find where your view gets clear. And I'll do this together with you looking through the microscope. All right, I can't really see anything right there, and I'm turning the big knob until things become visible and clear. Now, once I've found visible and clear, I'm going to take and zoom all the way out to my lowest magnification. All right, well, my camera was able to focus regardless, but my eyes can't. So anyway, we went to the highest magnification with the eyepieces screwed all the way in. Then we found focus using the focus block. Then we zoomed to our lowest magnification, and now we're going to focus individually at the eyepiece. Now this one picks up with a set screw, but most microscopes, these twist, and you would close one eye and focus this one, and then close that eye and focus the other one. And then once you've done that, you should be able to zoom in and out and stay in focus that whole trip. I can zoom in and I'm in focus. I can zoom out and I'm in focus. And that's how you set up your microscope, so that you can zoom out to cut a big scroll element, but you could zoom in to do your fine shading. So obviously, before you go through the trouble of focusing your scope and all of that, you'll want to center it over the turntable, put your vise on there, make sure this distance is compatible with your scope's focal point. You do have some variation in your focus block. This usually moves a few inches on all of them. And the significance of the reason that you're going to go through all of the trouble of getting all of this centered is because this knife scale that we have in the vise right now is obviously bigger than my field of view. My field of view is only going to be about that big around, and as I zoom in, that field of view is going to get smaller. So what this allows me to do is to be working on this area and being able to look at it through the scope, and then I can just slide this across the turntable to make another spot visible inside the scope, because the center, the turning center is to the turntable and not to the vise. And here's what that looks like through the microscope. So if I'm working on this end of the knife, doing my business and cutting, I'm engraving down here, and I want to go work on a different area of the knife, as you can see that this will stay in my view while I'm working on it, but we can't see the whole knife. So what I would do is slide my vise across the turntable to the area that I did want to work on. And it allows you to work much faster as you work around your design, and it keeps everything in view, or at least the part that you're working on stays in view, and you just slide the vise around on the turntable rather than trying to move and reposition your microscope because something's in and out of your view. I hope this video helps you. If it does, please click subscribe. We're going to be making more videos of this type.